And we are back. Welcome back, everybody, to this live stream. This time we are here for the qualifying session ahead of the Portuguese Grand Prix here at Portimao. I am once again JW97, and once again I am joined by Rob.
Yes, hello, I am Rob once again, as per usual. Not much to talk about, really. We saw practice together. Let's get going on with qualifying. It's going to be bone dry.
Indeed. Yeah, a bone dry session, no rain expected for all the sessions. Let's get on with it then, shall we? First of all, I do apologise if you can hear a fan in the background. I've currently got it on in my bedroom. It is currently, whilst it is quite cloudy over in the UK, it is still quite humid here at the moment. So that's why I've got a fan on at the moment. So anyway, I might as well ask your predictions, Rob, as we're now getting ready for Q1. Let's have a look if you did forget to change Verderi's helmet. Then if we get there. Let's see. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did forget to change Verderi's helmet. So ignore that. That will get fixed for Q2. Should he get through into Q2, that is. But anyway, Rob, I'll ask your prediction. Who do you believe will be eliminated in Q1?
I'm going to go for the standard prediction, which is both AlphaTauri, both Haas, both... both AlphaTauri, both Haas, and both Williams. But I will probably... There you go.
Okay, I'm going to go with both AlphaTauris, both Williams. I'm going to go with also both Haas's as well. I think it will be just 3 teams being eliminated in Q number 1. That's my opinion. Both Haas's, both Williams, and both AlphaTauris. That's what
so
I
we're in agreement then.
Yes. So let's have a look at the predictions in the stream chat then, as Daniel Fraser is the first driver out on track, and there'll be more cars to follow. Dennis has said for his predictions for Q1, he said both AlphaTauris, a Williams, a Haas, and both Aston Martins. Raya said both AlphaTauris, both Williams and Aston, and an Alfa Romeo. And Dennis has said, well, he also mentioned about the little mistake that Yuri made as well, that Verderi's still got Gomez's helmet. That will get fixed for Q2. Yuri did say just before the session began, he said he's probably forgot to change Verderi's helmet. So he'll get that changed for Q2 should Verderi, of course, make it to Q2, that is. But anyway, Daniel Fraser now then, he's about to start his first flying lap of Q number 1. And, well, given that we've got Rob in here and he likes to go through laps, why don't you go through a lap for us then, Rob, here of this fantastic Portimao circuit?
Okay, let's get going. It's a long run down to turn on. One of the main overtaking opportunities on the circuit, and here we go. You gotta be very careful not to overshoot. That curb can be quite tricky. Here goes Fraser going down all the way into 4th gear, using some curb on exit, and then going hard on the brakes in towards turn 3. Clip the apex there, and get on the traction. Very careful to hold the balance together into turn 4, and do not cut it. Do not track extend, that's gonna get you in trouble. As in towards turn 5, Tore Vip, hard on the brakes, you can get on the throttle quite early, but make sure you don't get any wheel spin as you go up the hill through this amazing section, through the left, and now into the double right. Brake and downshift at the same time. Be very careful with the traction as you go up the hill through Samsung, and then down the hill once again towards Craig Jones. Keep it nice and flat, and keep that speed going because you're gonna need it as you now prepare to brake and turn at the same time downhill here into the right of Portimao. Now back up into the left, 51.6 in the middle sector for Fraser. Once again braking hard for the left-hander, and Sunglass is up next. Brake early for this, then get on the throttle early, but do not get any oversteer. They gotta be extremely careful. And now get on the throttle to the max, pedal to the metal, go full throttle, keep it flat into gallop. And that is the lap of Portimao. Fraser taking off curb in the last corner on exit, but it's gotta be a 1 minute 17.8.
Yeah, as Lopez goes quicker than him by 3/10 of a second. Thank you for that lap, Rob. Here comes Felix Sontag across the line. He goes quickest by 1/10 of a second. He goes quicker than Lopez, surprisingly enough. Quark slots into 7. Clearly not a very good lap for Lopez, it's fair to say. Motrin now goes quickest by 76 thousandths of a second. Here comes Kirishima De Rosa in the McLaren. Across the line he will go, and he goes quickest by 3/10 of a second. I wonder what happened to Lopez then on his first flying lap.
Burn.
He goes into 4th. Chung across the line goes quickest by 3/10 of a second there, 1:16.672. Armar Carr across the line goes into 9th. A horrible first lap for the Mercedes. Gamba goes quickest now by 3/10 of a second. Let's have a look and see what happened to Carr and Lopez there. Let's have a look. He was up on the... Oh, there. You could just about see it there, look, going into the hairpin. You saw his wheel there. Looked like he had a little bit of an error going into the hairpin there, Rob.
I did mention you gotta be very careful with the traction here, and yeah, I lost some time there. But looks like
So
the
what
main
happened?
loss came in sector 3.
What happened to Lopez? That's the question. As Chatfield goes into third, Willows across the line in the McLaren, slots into 7th, 2 tenths behind. Perrinen crosses the line, goes into 6th in the Renault. Videri across the line, he will go, goes into 9th, borrowing Gabriel Gomez's helmet for this session. As Griffiths goes into 7th in the Williams. Julius Anderson across the line, he will go, goes into 15th. George Roke across the line, goes 8th. David Kupok now then, down the pitch straight, and across the line, he will now go. And he goes, well, it was 19th, but it's 20th, because only 16th for Galloway there. Got held up a bit.
Wilson
by
goes into
Alphatari.
11th, now was 10th, but Patel immediately dislodged her by going up to 4th place.
Yep. Lopez down in 17th. Now, was that a mistake? Because both Mercedes are currently in the drop zone. Was Lopez also making a mistake on his lap there? We didn't quite see a replay of what happened with Lopez. We only saw what happened to Carr. We know that Carr made a mistake on his lap, hence why he's down in 21st. But what on earth happened to Lopez? Did he make also a mistake as well? Because if that's the case, double
Has to
disaster
be.
at the moment for the Mercedes. They'll need to go again.
They were going to go again either way, but this is not the banker lap you want to set. Who knows what's going to happen the remainder of this session? Traffic can always hamper you, and you always need to prepare for the worst. And the best way to prepare for that is having a good enough bagger type, as Gaba and Willows have right now. But speaking of the good enough bagger types, look at Lamborghini. They completely turned the wick up. They're completely mid-table in practice. Now they're both on the second row. Of course, this is not Q3, so they won't be starting on the second row. Unless they make it there in Q3. But right now, they're showing incredibly strong pace in Q1. Let's see if they can keep this up.
Wait and see indeed as well. If we've still got a few guys there who still need to deliver the goods as well, likes of Lopez, Galloway, and Carr. Carr made a mistake. We believe Lopez also made a mistake. And Galloway, of course, we saw he got held up by one of the Alpha Towers, hence why he's down in 18th position. So Lopez, Galloway, Anderson,
Let's not
Fraser,
forget
Carr,
Evan Byrne.
Burn all the way down in 14th as well. I mean, he was languishing in 15th during practice, so who knows really? Maybe the
He's
issues
only
with Renault
saved by less than a tenth of a second, so that's definitely a worrying sign.
Yeah, so that's that really. I think I've just seen that the Mercedes garage were getting prepared to allow somebody to go back out on track for their second flying lap of the day. Let's just keep an eye on the left-hand side as we look on board with Rahul Patel in the Lamborghini. Currently in 4th place, just behind teammate Laura Chung as he's getting wheeled back into the garage. And yep, it is a Mercedes, and it's Franco Lopez. He's not wasting any time, and he wants to make sure that he's not making a mistake this time by, because we do believe that not only did Carr make a mistake, as we saw on the replay, we think that Lopez also made a mistake as well. So let's see what he can do on his second flying lap out of the pits then.
This is a very difficult circuit to master, even for the very best drivers in the world. It's just got so many twists and turns and elevation changes. You can always get caught out by the traction of these cars. Just a tiny little bit of oversteer, and that can be your lap entirely ruined. Let's see what Lopez will be able to do this time around, and hopefully, for his sake, he can avoid traffic.
Yeah, indeed, because some people do like to hang it out just a little bit. So, and especially given the pit exit around this track as well, it can make things a little bit awkward when you're having to go around somebody who's coming out of the pit. So we'll wait and see on that one. We'll keep an eye on that one when we can. Burns just come out on track, as has Roman Quark, and so has the man who's currently at the top, Franco Gamba, who of course also topped the practice session a little bit earlier on if you missed practice. And Lopez now then just going around the left-hander before he makes his way towards the final 2 corners on the racetrack, then through the long hairpin, it's fair to say, this long swooping right-hander before he makes his way into the final corner now then.
Would you like to take us for a lap with Lopez?
I think I was going to do that anyway. But anyway, he starts his lap. Let's see if there's any traffic on the right-hand side. There is somebody coming out of the pits. Can he beat them to the punch? Let's see. Into the first corner. And, oh, that might have affected him just a little bit because he looked like he had to really get out of the apex there, and well, that might have not done him any favors at all whatsoever. He has got a Ferrari in front as well for good measure.
I think that was 2 or 3 tenths lost. Let's see.
He's down by 2 tenths of a second in the first sector, but of course we need to wait and see if where he's made the mistake. Of course, so we'll keep an eye on that death panel to see if he gains any time in any of the other 2 sectors as he now makes his way towards Samson Corner now then. Through the right-hander he goes, using all the curb on the inside and then some on the outside as he makes his way down the hill through Craig Jones.
Is that rain?
No, I don't think that is rain. There is no rain expected here, Rob. So
he's understeered a little bit there Portimao. That must have been it.
He's still up. He is still up. So it was. In fact, you are correct. There is rain on the screen, in fact, but we aren't expecting it to wetten up, of course, because it did say it was going to be a dry session. So yeah, it seems there is rain around the track, but as mentioned, we're not expecting the track to wetten up at all during the session. So kind of similar conditions to what we saw at the World Champ Car race in Road America at the beginning of the race. Because whilst he said there was no rain expected, there was some rain, but it didn't wetten up the track, of course. As Lopez crosses the line and he does not improve, he remains where he is at the moment. But oh, he made a mistake through into the last corner as well. But it is clear then that from his previous lap, Rob, the middle sector was where he made the mistake.
Yeah, that must have definitely been it for Franco Lopez. Meanwhile, we're on board with Evan Byrne. And I'd just like to point out, Jamie Griffiths is in a very impressive P8. We're going to stick with Evan Byrne. He's going to get some toe onto the main straight. And let's see where he's going to end up. He's only saved by 10th right now, but can he improve on that? Yes, he can. He goes up in 9th place.
Meanwhile, Franco Gamba across the line, no improvement. He stays where he is, not like he needed to anyway. Quag improves. He goes up into 10th, pushes Roke down
Fraser
into 11th position. Fraser across the line, he will go in the Haas. Can he improve? And yes, he can, but only into 18th. He's still in the drop zone. Sontag, no improvement for him. Motrin on an improvement at the moment. He's currently in 12th position. Definitely needs to improve on his qualifying. He improves, but he stays in 12th. DeRosa, no improvement for him. Galloway up into 3rd. Much better for him. Obviously, he got held up on his first lap, and now he gets up into 3rd. Roke across the line, he will go, goes up into 6th. So an improvement for him. And he goes 13th, not bad in the Alpha Tauri. Car across the line, that's better. He's up into 9th, he's out of the drop zone now then. Perinin goes up into 6th. Chatfield across the line goes up into 5th, so we're seeing a lot of improvements on this lap. Lopez will need to improve on his next lap after once again having his lap affected. Videri 15th. Willows, no improvement for him. He stays in 2nd place for the moment. Chung, no improvement for her. She stays in 4th. As we now look at Jamie Griffiths, who's up on his personal best at the moment. Currently in 11th position is the Williams. Across the line goes the Welshman, no improvement for him at this point in time. Wilson also not improving at the moment. She's currently down in the drop zone at the moment, down in 17th position. Wilson down at the pit straight across the line. She will go currently in front of her teammate Fraser at the moment. No improvement that time by. Anderson improves, but only up into 19th. He's still stuck in the drop zone, unlike his teammate Motrin, who's only just in the cusp of that top 16 pressure.
Poking to 18th.
Yep, Kupok up into 18th, but he's still in the drop zone, unlike his teammate Gal, who's currently in that top 16 pressure. But again, Lopez's lap game compromised there, Rob.
Yeah, indeed. And Lopez, he's not going to have much time if he wants to escape this Q1. Because my goodness, his session has definitely not been going to plan right now. He's not only the reigning champion, the reigning double champion, he's also the reigning pole and race winner. And I do not want to see him on the back row.
No, definitely not. And he'll be hoping he can have a better third flying lap. He will obviously have plenty of time to do that, providing, of course, he's not one of the cars that gets left behind. Because, of course, same with F2 as well, Rob. Usually a car gets left behind after they do their first flying laps. Obviously, on that occasion...
Well, it was Patel on the first run, and I'm not quite sure who it was on the second one.
Well, we will wait and see, of course. Fraser currently in last position so far in the Haas. Haas have not had a P22 start yet this season. So I think they've been avoiding the back row so far this season of Haas, but clearly they're not coping very well around this Portimao circuit as we look at Rahul Patel as we wait to see who's going to go out for a third flying lap here in Q1.
Doesn't really need to either way, as we got someone going out at 7 burn right off the bat.
For anybody, because I didn't mention this in practice, of course, the tyres we are using for this week's race is the medium tyres. The first time the medium tyres have been used after the previous 3 races have been composed with hard tyres. For me, a bit of a refresh, really. We did really need the medium tyres to be used at some point, and kind of a refresh after 3 races with the hard tyres, because personally, I felt that the hard tyres made the races a little bit boring in the last 3 races, apart from Shanghai, but Baku and Hockenheim, they didn't really work well with the hard tyre. So, hopefully we get an exciting race with these medium tyres, hopefully. A little bit of a change of pace. Gamba is also out on the racetrack, as is Franco Lopez, so there is currently 3 cars.
Well, on that topic of the tyres, Joe, Portimao is quite notorious for the tire wear here, not just for natural wear from loading a lot of energy into the tires, thanks to all these high downforce corners, high speed corners, but also quite a lot of tire temperature concerns. This track eats your front tires for breakfast, really. So yeah, you're gonna have to be very, very careful on those mediums tomorrow on race day if you want to have a good result. as Byrne is about to begin a lap.
Is indeed, as he now makes his way around the final corner. Now then, let's see if he's going to get any traffic on this occasion. Lopez will be hoping his lap doesn't get compromised, because he's currently on the back row of the grid at the moment, is the two-time world champion and reigning champion, I should say. Keep an eye on the right-hand side. There is a car coming out, coming towards turn 1, but Byrne is actually going to come up to the gearbox of Armar Car, that is, in fact, because we know that Lopez is already out on track. So Byrne currently behind Armar Car at the moment on the racetrack. Let's see if he's going to be affecting him too much on this occasion. Byrne only in 12th place so far in this session as he comes up towards the end of sector 1, and he's 5 tenths down in the first sector. And wonder if Car had anything to do with that, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not want to be impeded in sector 1, and you need to have the clearest time possible, as Lopez does have an improvement in sector 1. He's up by a tenth and almost a half. But yeah, Byrne's lap is a complete write-off. Lopez might have some traffic too, though, so let's keep an eye on him, because he might drop out of this Q1. Byrne, I think his Q1 is done. There's no way he's going to improve on this lap, as he's understeer a little bit there into Portimao.
Yeah, kind of a common trope that we see whenever there's a battle around the track. They do like to go wide through this right-hander. The same's going to apply for Lopez, who gets very close to that Williams. Let's see what his second sector is like as a result. He's still up on his personal
still
best.
Up.
But it's not by a lot, is it?
The drop zone.
See what's going to happen then in this final. See what's going to happen then in this final sector for Franco Lopez as he makes his way through the second to last corner. He's clearly had issues in this session, has poor Franco Lopez, as he now makes his way through the final corner. He's going to get.
Is he on his way out of Q1? Let's see.
Across the line goes Franco Lopez, and he only goes 17th. That's pretty bad for him indeed. And that might be it, because we need to wait and see, of course, because there's still plenty of time left on the clock. But that could be trouble for Franco Lopez. He could get knocked out again in Q1, and well, this time through no fault of his own, really. You're saying, Rob?
I was saying 17th is already in the drop zone. I don't think he has time to go out again.
We'll see, of course. Meanwhile, we're looking at Jesus Perinin now, and he just makes his way out of the final corner. Across the line he will go. No improvement, stays in P7 for the moment. Here comes Roland Motrin, who rounds the final turn himself. Across the line he will go in the Aston Martin. Across the line, and he does not improve, stays where he is. Gal, no improvement for him either. He was behind Motrin just there, and he remains where he is at the moment, which is P14. He could make it through into Q2. For there, he doesn't improve. He stays in 15th. Rogue is up on his first pass, and he's also up on Gamba. Cross line, can he go top? Yes, he can, by 49 thousandths of a second. Rogue to the top with a 1 minute 16.254. Fraser across the line, no improvement, stays where he is. Quag improves to 11th. No improvement for Galloway. He stays in 4th. Carr across the line goes into 6th position with that lap. Here comes Chris Chatfield now then in the Ferrari, no improvement for him at this moment. Here comes Jamie Griffiths in the Williams. Across the line he will go, no improvement for him. As Felix Sontag crosses the line in the other Williams, no improvement for him.
He's out of qualifying.
This occasion, and that's him done. He stays in 20th position. He is out of qualifying, and same could be said for Kupok, who stayed behind. So Kupok is out of qualifying as well. Here comes Joseph Willows in the McLaren, currently in 3rd position, was in 2nd, but before Rogue made his improvement, of course, he's now down into 3rd, as now it is a Red Bull 1-2 in this session. Here comes Joseph Willows, across the line he will go, and no improvement. He stays where he is. Julie Sanderson, across the line he will go, he doesn't improve.
He's out as well.
And Lopez is officially out of this session. Look how much time we've got left. So Franco Lopez, for the second time this season, knocked out.
What about
Q1.
Wilson? Can she escape?
No, she can't. She remains in 18th position on that occasion. I think these are the laps done with. And yes, they are. So Franco Lopez out in Q1, Rob. And this time through no fault of his own.
And just by 200 of a second. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster.
We saw already, Yuri, what happened. He was held up in traffic by the Williams of I think it was Jamie Griffiths, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, a disaster for Franco Lopez. And once again, with it all to do, he has not caught a break. Apart from Hockenheim, he has not caught a break in this qualifying session.
Yep, absolutely right. And he's going to have to put the fight of his life tomorrow if he wants to get a decent result and get some good points. Meanwhile, Evan Byrne quite struggling a lot. His teammate is doing a little bit better, but still, Renault have been nowhere so far this week. And meanwhile, both Hasses are out, and Adria Federi looks like he will get that change of helmet after all. He's made it to
It looks like
Q2.
he's made it through, but well done to Miklos Gowan, the AlphaTauri. He's made it through into Q2 and out-qualifies David Kupok, who's been eliminated in qualifying. And Yuri calculated, by the way, that on his third flying lap, where he got held up by the Williams, had Lopez not been held up, he would have gotten third place. So it does show how much that hold-up really affected Franco Lopez there. He would have been in third without that.
I think Lopez will not want to go to Wales ever again.
After that, but there you go then. Rope top, Garber second and Willows in third, and your bottom six, just to remind you, Franco Lopez, Amelia Wilson, David Kupok, Felix Sontag, Julius Anderson, and Daniel Fraser. So apart from that, with Franco Lopez, Rob, what do you make of everybody else in that session?
That was definitely a surprise. Gall and Griffiths, I think they performed exceptionally well. But looking at the front runners, of course, Red Bull are top. But what the hell is going on with Renault? I think Red Bull are going to have an easy ride to pole, but we're going to have a hell of a fight for best of the rest.
It was Felix Sontag, apparently, that was the one that held up Jamie Griffiths, that held up Franco Lopez, not Jamie Griffiths. Apologies there to Jamie. It was Felix Sontag that was the one that held up Franco Lopez on that occasion. So, we're just going to take a brief pause for the moment, guys, and then we'll get everything prepared for Q2. But in the meantime, whilst I get the tweet prepared as well, you can let us know your prediction on who you believe will be eliminated in Q2, and I'll ask Rob a little bit later on as well. But clearly, Rob, as we've seen in Q1, traffic being a big thing.
Absolutely right, and my goodness me, what was this session? I did not think we'd see a Mercedes going out. I went with standard boring prediction, and I said I would probably be wrong, and my gosh, I certainly was.
Indeed so, and I was way wrong as well, because I said that both Williamses would be eliminated. Well, one got through.
So Franco can still visit Wales. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, indeed. But
meanwhile, a comment from Michael Macho: will a Mercedes seat come available as well as Red Bull? Who knows, really? I mean, we don't know what the Mercedes drivers have planned for the sign-up window, so I'll just have to wait and see.
We will see, of course. For anybody who isn't aware, of course, I'll remind you again, this is Franco Garber's final season in the top class, because he is retiring from the top class at the end of the season. Not from the OC, though, because he is intending to compete in another series next season, whether that be DTM, Formula E, or World Champ Car, we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of the top class, it will be the end of the road after this season. He'll be hoping to leave with the World Championship in his hands, if he can. But anyway, just going to get the tweet prepared, so apologies if I go silent for a little bit.
Entertain you guys for just a little bit until Joe returns. So, just reading through the chat, Jamie quite happy that it wasn't him who impeded Lopez. So, yeah, Rob was concerned for Lopez for improving. And let me just look through the chat. Obviously, just the predictions. We didn't really see that much, but we did see a prediction from Chow China. It was both AlphaTauri, both Williams, and both Aston Martin. I don't was exactly right, but I don't think anybody got a right prediction today, so I'll let that slide just fine. Meanwhile, a comment from Evan on the Mercedes topic. Only way Mercedes drop a driver legitimately is if one of them gets banned. That's how good their pass rate. Well, yeah, that is very true. And as I added, I think the only way Lopez or Cal lose the Mercedes seat is if they chose deliberately to go for somewhere else. If they want to leave Mercedes, either way, I don't see anyone taking a Mercy away from them. That's my opinion. But yeah, until Joe returns. Oh, welcome back.
Now, yes, I've just put the tweet up. But yes, it will be interesting to see what happens in that driver market. We only touched on the fact that Garber is leaving, but it really could shake up the driver market, unlike what Amar Carr was predicting, because Carr was predicting, if anybody saw on Discord, that he didn't believe that this silly season would be exciting. Well, now that Franco Garber has made this announcement, I think it could get very interesting, you'd have to say, Rob.
Well, Red Bull are the quickest team on the grid. This is obviously the most wanted seat for anybody. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition for it, I guarantee. And that's also going to shake up the other teams because, let's be honest, most of the people who will be contending for the Red Bull are drivers who are already somewhere else in the top tier. They won't be drivers from other tiers going for it, unless some random people don't have any tier. But yeah, I think there will be some major competition for the Red Bull seat from drivers from other teams. And one of them will get it. That's a certainty now. And that will open up some other vacancies. So it'll be a whole chain reaction, I think.
And we're going to get to Q2 on the way now because we've got the stream back up on your screen. So I'll ask you now, Rob, who do you believe will be eliminated in Q2?
I'm going to be honest with you. I sincerely do not have a prediction. It's too unpredictable.
Well, I'm going to give it a try anyway. I think Miklos Gal will be eliminated. I think Roland Motrin, who's finally been able to get through into Q2 this season, I think he'll also eliminated. I think as well. Who else is in there? I think Griffiths will be eliminated as well. So Griffiths, Motrin, and Gal, I believe, will be eliminated. Who else do I believe will be eliminated? I'm going to go bold and say a Renault is going to get eliminated. They've been a little bit off of Renault, it seems, so far. But they could turn it around. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to say a McLaren as well. I'm going to go bold and say a McLaren will get eliminated. And I'm going to go with a Lamborghini as well. Because so far this season, Lamborghini is still yet to get both cars through into Q3. Same with Mercedes, really. So it will be interesting to see. But anyway, the first car on track will be Joseph Willows in the McLaren. And he'll be the first on track in this session. As you can see, the rain that we had in Q1 has cleared away, so hopefully we don't see that those spits of rain that we saw in Q1 affect Q2 this time by. But in the meantime, let's see what everybody else's predictions are in the stream chat. Dennis, meanwhile,
as I do not have a prediction, I cannot possibly get it wrong, so I'm quite excited.
Both Alfa Romeos and a Lamborghini. Ra has said Jamie, Roland, Miklos, both Alfa Romeos and a McLaren. Yeah, I actually gone bold and said both Alphas are going through into Q3 then with my predictions. I only just realised the Alphas are in there. So, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to see if Alfa can make it through into Q3. Both Alphas, that is, because it's not out of the realms of possibility. Fonchanik has said Griffiths, Gal, Motrin, an Alfa, a Lambo, and a McLaren. That's his prediction. And they're the predictions we've got so far. But anyway, Joseph Willows is about to start his first lap of Q2.
Here we go.
There's still one more car yet to come out on the track, because it says 15 cars out on track, but now all 16 are out. So at least on this occasion, we know that Willows is not going to get held up in traffic. Not sure about the rest of them, though, around the track, but we will wait and see. Willows starts his first lap then of Q2 as he makes his way down towards the first corner. Obviously, if you've seen in the past in DTM, they used to go around this chicane that's over here. But of course, ever since this version of Portimao became available, it's the chicane has not really been needed anymore, especially in Formula E and DTM. So that's that. Willow's first sector, 21.465 in the first sector. Let's compare that to everybody else. As you can see,
Motrin will be next to sector time.
See, as Motrin does a 21.929 in the first sector. 21.556 for Quad, 21.435 for Chung, 21.650 for De Rosa. So De Rosa actually down on his teammate Willows in the first sector.
De Rosa is in traffic though, of course. He's being impeded by Motrin. 22.1 for Gal, that wasn't unpredictable. As Bernin has just started a lap, so has Federe.
50.726 for Willows in the second sector that time by, 51.857 for Motrin, 51.584 for De Rosa, 51.023 for Quag, 51.853 for Chum. But anyway, Willows around the final corner, he's going to set the benchmark of time for everybody to beat. Joseph Willows across the line in the McLaren, 116.586, not a bad lap there for Joseph Willows indeed. Here comes Roland Motrin in the Aston Martin. We do believe he's got De Rosa potentially behind him, or somebody's holding up De Rosa, I'm not sure. But second place for Motrin, second place for De Rosa, second for Quag, third for Chung, over second behind Willows. Actually, actually was quicker than Willows in the first sector, but it seemed to drop off.
Looks like she's made a little bit of a mistake somewhere.
She make it at the hairpin where we saw Quag make the mistake earlier on. And yes, you can see, look, you see it's look at that understeer through into the left-hander there. So,
went just a little bit too wide down to the AstroTurf, and that's cost her some time.
First sector, but then lost it. Now Roke goes quickest by nearly 0.5 of a second at 116.087. Will somebody break into the 1 minute 15s? Gal goes into 7th, over 2 seconds behind Roke. Here comes Patel across the line, goes into 4th. on that occasion, as here comes Chris Chatfield, P3 in the Ferrari. Evan Byrne, again, it seems the Renault seems to be a little bit off. He's 9 tenths off of Roke in the middle sector. Here comes the German Grand Prix winner. Across the line he will go, and he goes into 6th place. Franco Garma, can he go quicker than Roke across the line? And no,
Nope.
he can't. Only P5 for him. Perinen crosses the line, goes into 5th. He gets in front of Garma. Videri crosses the line, goes into 5th. Here comes Jake Galloway in the 2nd Ferrari. Galloway across the line, he will go, and it's only P8 for him on that occasion. Jamie Griffiths crosses the line in the Williams, P13 for him. Amar Carr, P4 for him at the moment. So at the moment, George Roke looking very quick so far, Rob.
Absolute dominance. He's half a second clear of P2. And that P2 is Joseph Willows, who's doing incredibly well so far in the McLaren. But I gotta say, many of the big names of this season struggling there, either in the drop zone or close to it. Byrne just in the drop zone. Also Gamba Byrne quite close to it. Galloway and Patel. It's gonna be a big fight, I think. And apart from George Roke, I don't think anybody is safe at the moment. And I don't think anybody is 100% safe, I should have said.
Byrne currently in the drop zone at the moment, so pretty much, yeah, a bit surprising there, Rob. You talked about it in practice. Renault seemingly struggling around here. Clearly, this track not suiting them at the moment.
Obviously, Renault are quite known this season for having an incredibly quick car in the straight lines. Problem is, there aren't exactly a lot of them here.
Oh, indeed, and it's only really the pit straight and the back straight. Everywhere else, it's all downforce dependent, especially down the roller coaster section of the circuit as well. Hence the nickname for Portimao, the roller coaster. So
it seems as though Byrne has sorted out his practice setup issues, but Byrne still struggling a little bit to keep pace with him.
Yeah, it seems Perinin seems to be a little bit stronger than him at the moment, but still not quite ideal for him either, because he's only in 7th place. He's not really in that top 4 threshold that we've seen the Renaults be in the last couple of races. But anyway, Patel is getting prepared to go back out on track. Is he going to be the first to go out there? In fact, no, I think he's just getting a line there. He wasn't going back out. I do apologise there, because I was too busy actually having a look at some statistics. And just for reference, of course, I think I mentioned it last time out in Germany, but the last time George Roke got pole position in the top class was the 2012 German Grand Prix. So it's been a while since we've seen Roke take pole position in the series. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but who knows really? If he can keep this up, could perhaps, get his first pole in what will be 9 seasons. When of course, he won his only sole race for Lotus, of course, back in 2012 at his favourite track. It's quite ironically Hockenheim. But anyway, Chung is going out on track.
Well, if there is any one particular favourite for pole position today, it has to be George Roke.
Do want to point out as well as by the way, did you actually change for Dairy's helmet? I do want to ask that question. I'm just going to double check if he did do that. Yes, he did. He has changed for Dairy's helmet. But I was
even if he didn't, he might have had a shot to do it again, because as of right now, Andrea Fideri will be going straight to Q3. But of course, this session is still not over.
The topic of Alfa Romeo, Rob, so will his teammate, because so far, both Alfa Romeos are 5th and 6th at the moment. And,
incredibly impressive. I did not see this coming at all.
Bold prediction that both Alphas will make it through into Q3, and so far, unless things change in this second flying lap, I could be making that prediction quite correct at the moment. But so far, both of them putting in a very good shift at the moment for Alfa Romeo in this session.
Well, yeah, that is very much true. But don't forget, we got a lot of big hitters behind them, all desperately seeking to improve on their laps. I think Alpha have pretty much maxed out their pace. I don't see them going any quicker than this. I might very well be wrong, but I think there's a lot of people behind them who have the potential to surpass them. So we'll have to see if one or both Alphas can hold on. As our Chunk is about to begin the first lap of the second run. Jake Galloway, he's just outside who is just about safe right now, has stayed in the pits. So that'll be interesting. But here goes Chunk in towards turn 1.
See, there was a car coming out of the pits.
Galloway.
She's behind. And she is behind Galloway, but how much is Galloway affecting her lap? Let's see. So far, Chung, let's not forget, is in the drop zone. She's currently in 12th position. We keep mentioning it. Lamborghini is still to get both cars. Lamborghini still to get both cars through into Q3. 3 temps down in the first sector. Let's not forget as well, this is the corner where she made a mistake, of course, on her first flying lap. So I guess it's only really up from here, really. We'll have to see what a dev panel looks like.
Yeah, but not while she's stuck behind the Ferrari.
So Galloway is starting to create a bit of a gap now between himself and Chung. So let's see how this one fares as she now approaches Craig Jones, and she'll soon be approaching the end of Sector 2 now. Then let's see. Is she up on her personal best? Let's see. And let's see, and she is up by 0.3 of a second. So you can tell just how much that lockup, well, that slight oversteer and understeer that she had going through into turn 5 there really affected her on her first flying lap.
She might get a little bit of a toe off, a little bit of a helping hand here as she goes up through the gears. But this lap was definitely hampered a little bit by traffic, especially in Sector 1. Nevertheless, Chung might make it to safety for now, but she could be in danger again. We'll see. As she crosses the line, just misses out on safety, goes 11th.
Well, Quarg on another improvement. Let's see what the Frenchman can do. And he goes into 4th. Look at that.
Well, I said they were maxed out, but it seems I was wrong. Quag found a 10th and a half there. Very impressive.
Field didn't improve that time by. DeRosa improves to go up into 4th. Bernie's on the improvement. Has he found some pace this time in the Renault? Across the line goes the Irishman, and that's more like it. Up into 2nd place goes Evan Byrne. Franco Gamba goes only 7th that time by. As Willows doesn't improve, he stays in 3rd. Rahul Patel across the line, he will go. He's in the drop zone, and he doesn't improve. Both Lamborghinis currently in the drop zone. Carr on an improvement, but he's being bothered by Roland Motrin, it seems, and neither of them improve as a result. So, and Carr was actually...
Derry's improved. Only just.
Derry improves, but only into 9th. Roke does improve, says on 1 minute 16.0. Perinen up into 4th now. The Renault's starting to turn up the whip now. It seems
the Renault have gotten rid of the sandbags, it seems, and just when they needed to, as Gal crosses the line.
14th place for him, as Griffiths no improvement there. Galloway up on his personal best now in the Ferrari. Of course, he was the one that was in front of Chung. He's up on his personal best by 1/10 of a second. So let's see what Galloway can do.
That's not going to be enough for P10. Let's see as he crosses the line.
Across the line goes Galloway, and it's P7 in fact for Jake Galloway. Pushes for Derry now into the drop zone, and that is the second runs done with. Now I do think that some of them will get a 3rd flying lap in, but just who, I'm not sure.
Most definitely Chung.
Yeah, indeed, but we'll wait and see on that one then. But at the moment, Roke's still looking pretty strong, but it seems that Renault have finally turned the wick, it seems, Rob.
Yeah, sandbags are gone, and I think we may very well have a fight for pole in our hands finally when we get to Q3. I think Roke is still the favorite, but I don't think he's gonna have it as easy as I thought before.
Meanwhile, Gamba and Carr, just keep an eye on that. They're just in the top 10 threshold at the moment in 9th and 10th. Gamba looking a little bit off in this session, Rob.
Yeah, indeed, and he'll have to pray he gets it to Q3 so he can actually get his mojo back, because I'm not sure if he'll get another lap in or not.
Well, we'll see, of course, as Patel now comes back into the pit lane himself. 12th and 13th for the two Lamborghinis. So far, Lamborghini looking like both cars are going to get eliminated in Q2 if it stays like this. Not ideal for the Italian team, who are just across the road, of course, from Ferrari, as Patel gets wheeled back into the garage as the seconds tick down on the timer on the top of your screen. So let's wait and see how this one develops, really. As
don't forget Chang's best lap. During that lap, she had to deal with traffic. It's cost her 3/10 in S1 alone. Of course, she still made up on her previous best, because the previous best was atrocious. But nevertheless, Laura Chang, I think she's got more in the bag than she's shown with that P13 lap.
Indeed so. Just under 3 minutes to go in this session. Will Chung come out on track and try and give herself one more chance to get through into Q3? We will find out, of course. Just 2 3/4 minutes to go now then in the session. And it looks like the Lamborghini mechanics are getting ready. Yes, Chung is going back out to give herself one more chance to get her Lamborghini through into Q3. Carr needs to be aware of this as well, because he's only just in the cusp of the top 10 at the moment.
Well, Chung will definitely be getting that lap in time, but I don't think everyone will, so we'll have to keep an eye out on who's going to miss out or not.
So Chung comes out onto the racetrack now then. Let's keep an eye on the tower on the left-hand side to see if anybody gets out before that 1 minute 16 threshold. Willows is also out on the racetrack, as is Moptrin. Is Carr going to come out on track? Same for Gamba. Let's see. Will those two come out on track? As coming out of turn 4 there goes Laura Chung. Gamba out on track. So he's trying to make sure, just in case he gets eliminated. Just keep an eye on Carr's indicator on the left-hand side to see if his reaches the 1 minute 16 threshold. As now coming towards Samsung. Now then comes
Carr's gone out.
Carr is on track. He's trying to make sure. So they're trying to make sure. So Carr and Gamba making sure that they get themselves through into Q3. And
Quag is out as well, trying to defend his very respectable showing. But will Federi come out to try to get both alphas into Q3 or not?
Yes,
he will.
Federi's also out on track as well. Will Gal also give himself one more chance. Let's see, as there's 2
Rogue's
cars
gone
still
out.
left.
We're waiting for Galloway.
Galloway's
Gall's
out
just
of
gone
track.
out in time, but Galloway will miss out.
Galloway will just miss out. So 15 cars, everyone apart from Galloway has got one more flying lap left.
And here goes Laura Chung.
Keep an eye on the right hand side, of course, because Galloway did hold up Chung last time by.
Not this time around. Let's see if she can make it count.
Turn 1 through into turn 2, very clean indeed. No traffic this time by for Laura Chung. She's just got to make sure she doesn't make a mistake like she did on her first flying lap. Through
very clean run out of 3 and up the hill towards 4. Let's see what she's got in store in this sector 1. Should be up, and yes, she is, but just under 3/10 of a second.
Indeed. Let's see if she can keep that up in the remaining 2 sectors now. Then 1/10 down on Roke in the first sector, as now Chung will make her way through turn 7 and then into Samsung corner she will go, where we then get into the roller coaster section of this Portimao circuit, down through to Craig Jones now then, this left-hander, before making her way towards the double right-hander of Portimao, flicking the car in through the right-hander, just clipping the curb on the inside. Second sector, 5/10 up on her personal best, but 4/10 down on Roke. I think she will get herself into the top 10, which will put pressure on both Gamba and Carr to improve as well, especially given that all of the bottom 6 are out on track now then. So Chung,
the checkered flag is out, and now Laura Chung, she should be able to make it through to Q3, but who else will join her? Let's see. And she's about to cross the line.
Down the pit straight she goes. Can she get into the top 10? And yes, she can. She goes up into 8th, but I wouldn't say she's safe just yet. Here comes Joseph Willows across the line, stays in P3. Here comes Roland Motrin. He's on an improvement across the line, but he loses time in the last sector and he's out. He stays in 16th. Franco Gamba not improving, and he stays 10th. This could be a
in danger.
Either
him or Ka will go out.
Yes, indeed. Here comes Rahul Patel in the Lamborghini. No improvement for him. Galloway just getting some mileage in the Ferrari. Quag across the line. He stays in 9th. Car is on improvement across the line. No, he's out. Oh, misses out. And he lost time in that last sector and he made a mistake. A crucial
into Sangres. He understeered off onto the curb. It didn't cost him a lot of time, but just about enough to keep Franco Gamba in the session for now. But someone can still knock him out.
Doesn't improve. DeRosa doesn't improve either. Perinin, no improvement for him. Chatfield across the line, no improvement for him. Griffiths, he's not on improving. He looks like he's also going to get himself eliminated. But he finds some time in the last sector, but only up into 14th position. He's out. For Dairy, across the line, he will go, and no improving. He stays in 12th. Roke, he doesn't need to improve anyway, but he only just not able to improve. He stays on a 1 minute 16.087. Gal across the line, and no improving. He stays where he is. So,
is that it? It is, yeah.
That is it. So Amar Carr eliminated, and like with Franco Lopez, because of a mistake, Rob.
Indeed, and when is the last time we haven't had a Mercedes in Q3? My goodness.
I think it's been a while. I think you'd have to look back to probably 2012 for that to happen, I would imagine. So
yeah, but that said, Franco Gamba, by just 13 thousandths of a second, I think, has absolutely dodged the bullet there.
Thanks to Carr's mistake as well, because if Carr had got that hooked up, Gamba would have been eliminated himself, but he's very lucky that Carr made that mistake. So Roke top, followed by, just double check, Burning second and Willows in third, and the bottom 6 eliminated, Carr, Vaderi, Patel, Griffiths, Gal, and Motrin. So it will be interesting to see what Q3 has in store, Rob.
Absolutely right, and Franco Gamba, even, it doesn't matter where you finish in Q2 as long as you make it through the Q3. Franco Gamba could still have a shot at pole, of course. We'll have to wait and see, but he'll be so lucky that he managed to make it. Amar Ka will be kicking himself after that.
Indeed, and both Mercedes not making an appearance in Q3 whatsoever. And once again, their qualifying inconsistency continues, Rob.
Yeah, indeed. And we were asking earlier if they could get both cars through to Q3 this time, Joe. Well, they got neither.
Same goes with Lamborghini as well, another team that's doing it to get both cars into Q3. Whilst one has got through into Q3, the other one hasn't, that being Rahul Patel. It's P13 for him on the grid tomorrow. And once again, only one Lamborghini getting themselves through into Q3, but right at the death, Rob.
Yeah, indeed, Laura Chung struggled a lot on the first lap. She made an error into Torrevip on the exit, turn 5. On the second lap, she was impeded by Galloway, even though she improved. On the third lap, she got everything right and got herself a ticket to Q3. Very well deserved.
Indeed, so indeed.
So now then, Joe, the obvious, so we have to ask for your predictions. And who do you think will take pole? Because my prediction is the obvious. He was fastest in practice, fastest in Q1, fastest in Q2. I'm going to go for George Roque for pole.
I'll give my prediction in just a little bit, just after I've
All
wrote
right.
this tweet.
Just a note there in the chat, Jafari Blackwood has said he predicts Gamba for pole. So interesting. A lot of people surprised got out. Rahul Patel disappointed with his P13 finish. P13 finish to qualifying. I think everybody would be disappointed like that, considering he has been by his teammate today. And yeah, from Dennis, he agrees with me. He thinks Rogue will take pole, and I think don't underestimate the Renaults because they were sleeping. They were sleeping entirely for practicing Q1, but they completely woke up at last. So that'll be very interesting to see if they have a chance. What do you think, Yuri?
I'm back now, so you don't
Welcome
need to
back.
get Yuri's opinion. Sorry, Yuri. Anyway, in terms of my prediction. Anyway, as of my prediction for pole, I think I'm going to go with you, Rob, and I think I'm going to go with George Roque on this occasion. I think he can get his first pole in 9 seasons, and so far, he's looked pretty strong so far.
Yeah, indeed. So last time out, Byrne got his first win since however long, and today, Rogue could get his first pole since however long. So it could be very interesting. But the stage is set for Q3, and so far this session has been an absolute roller coaster, just like the middle sector here. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
We'll see, of course, and I'll read the rest of the predictions for qualifying out in just a little bit. I might also remind people of Patel's prediction when we get to the qualifying session. But the stage is set, really. But yeah, for Mercedes,
Looks like we've got Haley Bailey. I'm not quite sure who that is, but Haley Bailey has said Chung or Willow's pole. I think that is extremely bold.
Well, you never know, of course. I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility for a Lamborghini to take pole, because look what Rahul Patel was able to do at the first race of the season at Melbourne. So it's not out of the realms of possibility. Anything could really happen in this session. As
Chow China from Chow China says he believes Chatfield will take pole. I think that's very bold, as well.
Well, you never know.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Ferrari have looked particularly strong so far in this session, but whether they can be strong in this session, we'll have to wait and see, of course.
Tell you what, Joe, give me your prediction for the top 5. I'm going to give you mine. So I think it's going to be P1 Rogue, P2 I'm actually going to give it to Chatfield, P3 Byrne, P4 Gamba, and P5 Pernian. I think that's what it's going to be like.
I'm going to say Rogue, Byrne, Gamba, Chatfield, and I'm going to say Perinin for 5th.
All right. Well, let's find out what's going to happen. Give us your tops as well, guys, if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. But I think this will be a very, very epic climax this session.
And we just need to wait for Yuri to sort out what we need to do, which is now to get underway. So without further ado, let's get into Q number 3, shall we? And hopefully the stage is set for a very good Q3 session indeed, with Roque looking to get his first pole since the 2012 German Grand Prix when he was at Lotus, of course. So let's wait and see how this one develops then, really, as we're now into the garage, and it's going to be very strange not seeing a Mercedes in this session, of course. So we'll wait and see how that one sort of develops then. But we are now in the pit lane, and we're ready to get going then for Q number 3. And so let's wait and see excuse me, how this one develops then, as the seconds tick down for the start of Q number 3, as we wait to see who is going to get out there first. And it looks like it is going to be Laura Chung that's going to be first on track, unless somebody beaches her to the punch, and somebody
looks like it's going to be the McLaren De Rosa.
De Rosa is the guy who's first on track, and the McLaren getting out on track right now. But it's safe to say with McLaren, Rob, we haven't really talked about them much. They've also looked particularly strong so far in this session, particularly Joseph Willows, who's managed to get in the top 3 so far in both sessions.
Yeah, indeed. I didn't include him in my top 5 prediction, but he could be a surprise like he was previously in this session. So I think He might have a shot for a good result. I'm not saying he'll take pole, but he could do quite well today.
We'll see as De Rosa just comes out of turn 5 now. Then, of course, we've seen quite a few mistakes in this session, and those mistakes definitely costing both Lopez and Carr from getting both of their cars through into Q3, and especially for Lopez.
And Chung on her first lap in Q2, of course.
Yes, indeed, but she luckily was able to find something on her final flying lap. But anyway, De Rosa just coming out of Portimao now. Then there's only 5 cars still out on track at the moment. Not all 10 cars have come out. There's now 7 on track, as you can see on the top left of your screen. Now 8 cars have come out, just 2 cars left to make their way out onto the racetrack. De Rosa hoping both of them are out on track before he makes it around the final turn. As he now just approaches that final turn.
We're just waiting for one more.
They're now all out on track, so De Rosa should not get any traffic at all, and it should be a clean lap for the Italian, who's about to start his lap now then, as he now makes his way down towards the first corner. And let's
using the full power of the Renault engine going into the 330s, and that was a good line into turn 1. But let's see how we can hook up this sector 1. Of course, this one is the most straight line dependent sector, so don't be surprised if the Renaults do rather well. The Renault powered cars, I mean, and they also have 21.5 in the first sector. We'll keep an eye on the other people, as Quag is at 21.6.
Yep, not exactly quicker than what we've seen in the first
Rogue
sector.
21.6.
Oh, maybe it's changed on this occasion, because I know that Chung did a 21.4 in Q number 2. Sorry, just keep an eye on everybody else. Only 4 cars have come past the first sector point as De Rosa approaches
We'll be waiting for Jake Galloway in a few seconds' time.
Sector 2. Let's see what De Rosa's second sector is like. 51.037 for De Rosa in the second sector now. Then 21.529 for Galloway. So 2 thousandths down on De Rosa. So
Rogue is 1/10 down on De Rosa so far.
Yes, so De Rosa having a quicker time than Rogue at this point. I don't know if Rogue has got some traffic on this occasion, but anyway, De Rosa around the final corner, and he's going to set the benchmark of time for everybody to beat.
Barn goes quickest in P1 meanwhile.
1:16.997 for Kirishima De Rosa. That's the benchmark of time. Quark slots into second. Here comes George Roque in the Red Bull. Across the line, he will go, and he goes into second. 81 thousandths off of De Rosa. Chung crosses the line, goes into fourth. As Galloway is up on De Rosa now, so he was 2 thousandths down in the first sector. He's now pulled it back in the second sector.
Can he get that car into provisional pole? Let's see. Meanwhile, George Roque will be very disappointed. He's 1 second down in his Q2 time. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. But nevertheless, here goes Jake Galloway. Can put that Ferrari on the front row. And for now, yes he can. Goes on provisional pole, but Evan Byrne might just about smash it. He's up on Galloway by 1.5 tenths of a second, sorry.
Yep, Byrne across the line. Can he beat Galloway, his former teammate, to the punch across the line? Yes, he can by 2 tenths of a second and 1:16.577. Chatfield across the line goes into 6th. Joseph Willows in the McLaren across the line, and only P6 for him on that occasion. Franco Garma, can he go quicker than Byrne? The championship leader.
Doesn't look like it.
No, he can't. Only 3rd place for him. Perrin across the line. 2nd place for him. It's a Renault 1-2 at the moment. I nearly got my tongue twisted there, but it is a Renault 1-2 at the moment, Rob.
I did not expect that at all, but there's a lot of pace Red Bulls still have to unlock. Don't forget what Rogue did last time out.
Indeed so, and Rogue will wait and see what the Red Bulls can respond with in that second flying lap. Of course, the fastest time we've seen is a 1:16.0, so we could still see that lap time being a thing in Q number 3 at this point in time. But yeah, very interesting first laps here, but it is a Renault 1-2 at the moment, and they are followed by a former Renault driver, Jake Galloway, who's up in 3rd at the moment.
Yep, indeed, and I think this is going to be a career best grid position for Hesperian if he can hold on to it, of course.
Still plenty of time at the moment for drivers to improve, especially the 2 Red Bulls. We will keep an eye out on that one as Chung gets wheeled back into the garage with just under 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session to determine the grid for tomorrow's Portuguese Grand Prix. Of course, that race will be happening before the F2 sessions, of course, due to Flo recently just travelling back from Austria and needing some time to recharge the batteries, as it were, on his end. So, anyway, as Chung will be waiting to go out for a second run later on. Same for everybody else as Perrin comes back into the pits. And the Red Bulls will be wanting to reassess what happened there, Rob.
Absolutely right. I've noticed from the table on the top left corner, they've been struggling in Sector 1. Not just in the straight line section, but I think it's got some fast corners as well, turns 1 to turn 4. Red Bull they've definitely got more time to find. I think, yeah, something's a little bit wrong right now. They lost, so Gamba lost half a tenth to Burn and in the last sector, if I'm not mistaken. But I think most of his deficit came in sector 1, so that'll be very interesting to keep an eye out on.
Young is coming out on track, but will De Rosa beat her to the punch? And yes, he
And
will.
don't forget,
DeRosa
Burn
again.
is still half a second off of Rogue's Q2 time. So if Rogue or anyone else can replicate that lap they had in Q2, that could be a sure shoe-in for pole, but we'll have to wait and see as De Rosa is back out. Willows has had the measure of him so far this weekend, but it seems at the last second he's turned it around, and let's see if he can hold on to it.
We'll see, of course, but we have seen in the previous sessions, Rob, of course, that the second laps we do see quite a lot of improvements. Whether that's going to be the case,
Yeah, absolutely right.
in Q3, we will have to wait and see. As De Rosa will be hoping there's no traffic by the time he gets back around, although there is 10 cars in this session, so you would think that the chances of traffic are quite low in this session. But we have seen where this stuff.
It just depends when you send out your. It depends on the team when they send out their car. Chunk is very close to De Rosa, but she's not dangerously close to him, so she'll be safe. She won't be getting any loss of downforce from the dirty air. But nevertheless, if she came out of the pits 2 or 3 seconds earlier, I think she'd be in a little bit of trouble. Nevertheless, Hiroshima De Rosa will start his lap. Not a lot of cars out just yet. This might be a little bit tricky, but let's see as he approaches Sangas, going up the throttle, hard on the throttle, through the gears, into the flat-out gulp, and he's going to use the full grunt of that Renault engine as he powers onto the main straight for his second flyer.
Let's see what he can do now. Then keep an eye on the right-hand side to see if there's any traffic. I don't see anybody there, but let's see as he comes into the first corner. And,
we're still waiting on Gamba and Chatfield.
There's no traffic, so another clean lap for De Rosa as it should be. Through into turn 3, and then into turn 4 then goes the recently Italian Kirishima De Rosa. Into the walls, the first sector he will go, and he's only 6 thousandths off of Burn in the first sector. 54 thousandths up on his personal best. So a very
don't forget they have the same engine, so a little mistake there into turn 5. I was going to say they have the same engine, so of course, but it looks like Renault has a little bit of an advantage over McLaren when it comes to the aero and chassis departments. But nevertheless, that's a very impressive sector 1 from De Rosa, all things considered.
I think that hairpin looked a little bit dodgy for De Rosa. Let's see what his second sector is like for.
Let's see how much time he's lost.
Quite a bit, yeah. That hairpin definitely, clearly De Rosa pushing a little bit too hard there into the hairpin, which is a bit of a shame.
What a shame.
First sector was pretty strong indeed. Let's see what De Rosa can do. Let's see if De Rosa can pull any sort of time back in this remaining sector, but I think it's going to be a little bit of an uphill struggle here. Let's see. Through the final corner then goes Kirishima De Rosa in the McLaren, down the pit straight, across the line will go Kirishima De Rosa, and no improvement. He stays in 5th position.
He's found some time back in S3, but not enough, as Chunk stays in 10th for that improvement. Rogue is being majorly impeded here by the Ferrari, even though he was up in the first sector.
Was up on Burn in the first sector. He's still not that far down in the second sector, so he could still climb it back in the third. Let's see. Roque across the line, and no, he only 4th that time by for George Roque. Garma just about
I think he would have been on pole if not for that traffic, but he's still going to have 1 round left for sure, as Roman Quag is next to cross the line. He is in P7 right now. Could he climb himself onto the 3rd row? Let's see. Here goes the French driver. And no, stays in 7th, but does improve by a 10th and a half. Here goes Hesperian. And could he be having a crack at pole?
Oh, look at this. Perinen up on Burn by a 10th of a second. Let's see what the Spanish driver can do. Jesus Perinen, can he beat his teammate to the top of the timing sheet? Yes, he can by 2/10 of a second. 1 minute 16.309. Let's see.
He's found 4 tenths there. That was mighty. And it's an Iberian doubleheader, of course. Lots of Spanish fans have made the trip to Portugal to support Hesperian, and they're quite happy right now. Willows doesn't improve, only just. And here goes Jake Galloway.
Improvement as here comes Evan Byrne. He's not up, and he stays in 2nd place that time by. Garma is on a lap. We know that. So is Chris Chatfield, and they're both. No, that's Roque, in fact, that's behind, isn't it? Yeah, that's George Roque, and he's gone.
He's overtaking Chris Chatfield.
Going wide there. Chatfield was up on his personal best, but that mistake is not going to help him at all.
And I don't think he's even going to have the time to go out yet again. It might be very close. And this lap will not be an improvement. Only just though, by 3 tenths, not 3 tenths, 300 of a second. As here goes Franco Gamba.
24 for him though.
Same time with Galloway.
At the same time, but Galloway set the time first, so he stays in third position for the moment. So I know the game will say, although the vanilla game will say that Gamba is ahead because of garage order, it is Galloway that's ahead of Gamba because he set the time first. So just bear that one in mind. But anyway, we should see some more getting one more flying lap before the end of the session. But
Definitely
the
not
question.
Gamba, though, I'm afraid. So it looks like the streak of poles will not be continuing.
We'll see, though. It depends on how quickly he gets back around and back out on track, of course, because it is quite a short lap time, really, a 1:16 to be exact. So, but Chong and DeRosa, I do expect them to do a third flying lap, especially DeRosa, who, let's not forget, Rob, made that mistake, of course, at the hairpin when he was looking pretty strong in that first sector.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be on road 2 if not for that mistake. And considering the two people on road 2 are literally level, DeRosa could have found himself into P3 if he could hooked up that lap nicely.
Yeah, indeed. And Evan just pointed out as a joke there, Rob, what fans? Because there's no one in the grandstands, as you can see on the
They
mark.
have all turned invisible, Evan, that's why.
Yeah,
But they're there, they're there.
Got that invisibility cloak from Harry Potter. But anyway, Chong is actually going to beat DeRosa this time to go first out on the racetrack. So she's not wasting any time at all. And she wants to get a little bit higher than Temp. So she's getting one more flying lap before the session comes to a close. We expect DeRosa to also do the same as well. Just keep an eye on the left-hand side, the timing tower on the left-hand side, where the pit indicators are. DeRosa still hasn't gone out just yet. So a bit of a gap between Chong and DeRosa forming. Quite a big gap, in fact. Chong is still not... DeRosa has now come out on track. But clearly leaving himself enough of a gap to try and ensure there's no traffic, providing, of course, nobody comes out of the pits by the time he comes by. Quag has come out on track, so 3 cars getting one more flying lap in before the session comes to a close. As now coming up towards Samsung comes Loa Chung. As Roke comes out on track, so Roke's giving himself one more chance to try and see if he can get his first pole since 2012 and beat the 2 Renaults to basically see if he can try and wreck Renault's plans of a front row lockout.
It'll be very interesting if Baron holds on, because then, just like the real life 2020 thing, it'll mean the Q2 time was faster than the eventual pole time. But nevertheless, here we go in towards the final 2 minutes. Laura Chung, currently last in this session, she'll be beginning her lap. But let's see how much time she can find and how many places she can climb, if at all. Here we go.
Brennan has gone back out on track just in case Roke decides to ruin his plans. Keep an eye on the right hand side to see if there's any traffic, and no, there isn't. So a clean lap for Laura Chung in progress here. I wonder if that will be the same for Kirishima DeRosa, though. Are we wondering with that one indeed? As the seconds tick by, as I'm keeping an eye on the left hand side and the timer on the top of the screen right now. Only half of the cars have gone out onto the racetrack, and that's it. So Garma, Galloway, Byrne, Willows,
Chung up massively.
Chung up by 0.2 of a second, 1/10 down on Perinin in the first sector, and a very tidy hairpin that time by. So, as mentioned, Byrne, Galloway, Gamba, Willows and Chatfield will not get a lap in. A bit of a disappointment for Willows, given how strong he was in the first 2 sessions. But again, just McLaren just can't seem to optimise the potential they've got at the moment. But anyway, back on board.
So.
Let's keep an eye on Laura Chung now then as she makes her way through into Portimao. Let's see what her second sector is like. She's 3/10
massive, half a second up.
I think she could get herself around about 5th or 6th. Let's wait and see.
Or maybe if she has a good enough sector 3, maybe could even get herself into P3. Let's see, as we got 30 seconds left of the session.
Let's see, round the final turn comes Laura Chung in the Lamborghini. This is looking a pretty strong lap for the Chinese driver. Chung across the line. She will go now. Then the Lamborghini crosses the line and goes into third. You were right there, Rob. P3 for Laura Chung. That's a very strong
last sector. Absolutely brilliant from Laura Chung there. I asked how many places she was going to climb out, and the answer was a whole lot of them. 7 places. DeRosa next to cross the line. Can he improve on that one? No, he can't. Misses out by just 400 of a second. Here goes Roman Quag. We'll be hoping to get ahead of DeRosa as the checkered flag is out.
Quag's on a very good lap, and it's P7 for Quag. A very good qualifying.
Does get it for DeRosa. But here we have George Rogue.
He's not improving. He's down by, well, a second on Perinin. It's not been a very good lap for George Rogue across the line. Only P6 for him on that time by. So a very disappointing qualifying for the 2 Red Bull drivers. Perinin is on a lap, and he's actually down on his personal best. Is anybody else behind him on a lap? I'm not sure. I know there was 5 cars that were doing a lap, and no,
that's it. Jesus Byrne has taken pole for the first time ever.
in only his 5th ever race as well. He looks like Jesus Perinen has taken his first ever pole position, and it looks like it is a Renault front row lockout, and that will definitely please the team over at Enstone. That is for sure.
Absolutely right. Portimao. I don't think anybody considers Portimao a power dependent track as Perrin finishes the lap, not improving. Like I said, I don't think anybody considers Portugal a power dependent track. But never, so Renault weren't expected to have the advantage here. They struggled a lot in practice in Q1, but they've pulled it all back brilliantly. And Jesus Perrin has taken an absolute banger of a pole there. Now we're gonna rewind and watch the pole time. And while we do, we are gonna keep quiet.
Indeed, and let's see how Perinen got pole position then for the Portuguese Grand Prix. And that is how Jesus Perinen took pole position for tomorrow's Portuguese Grand Prix. Both the rookies this season have managed to get a pole in 2021. I don't think that has ever happened before in the OC, where the rookie drivers have been able to get a pole position in their first ever season. But both Patel and Perinen have been able to do that this season. Here is your top 10 then.
Absolutely brilliant.
Here's your top 10. Jesus Perinen on pole. Evan Byrne makes the Renault front row lockout in second. Laura Chong, very impressive in third. Franco Gamba, fourth.
No, the other way around.
Forget that. Jake Galloway is in fourth because, of course, he set the time before Gamba. The vanilla game, for some reason, goes in Garage Order, but I can assure you it is Galloway in fourth, Gamba in fifth, followed by Roke in sixth. The two Red Bulls only on row 3 for tomorrow's race. Roman Quagg in seventh, Kirishima DeRosa in eighth, Joseph Willers in ninth, and Chris Chatfield completing the top 10. But Renault lock out the front row for the first time since... I want to say, for the Renault team at least, since 2006, I think, was the last time I've seen a Renault.
I know for a fact that Jens Donalf last locked out the front row in China 2013, of course, good memory. But of course, that was when they were called Lotus, of course. So this is the first time since 2006 when they do it while they're called Renault. Nevertheless, this session, I did not expect that at all. I thought Rogue could absolutely cruise on to pole or Gamba would take it, but Red Bull have completely fallen apart, and Rogue went 8 tenths slower than his Q2 time.
Indeed so, and it's going to leave us, hopefully, with a very interesting Portuguese Grand Prix tomorrow. Well, that has been it then. I hope you have enjoyed it, and, well, a very interesting grid for tomorrow's Portuguese Grand Prix, and a first ever pole position for Jesus Perinen in only his 5th Grand Prix. Very well done to him indeed. But that has been it. I
Absolutely,
hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, we don't do the commentary, of course, for tomorrow's race because, of course, we allow George to do that for the highlights. But, of course, also tomorrow as well, after the top class race, don't forget, you'll be hearing Rob's voice tomorrow because at 7 p.m. BST, the F2 sessions are on as well. The qualifying and the race here at Portimao. I wonder if their sessions will also be just as interesting as this one. We'll have to wait and see on that one, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if this is anything to go by, you cannot predict anything at this circuit. It's going to be amazing. Not just the race tomorrow, with a lot of strategic variation. And of course, tire wear and tire temperatures are going to play a major key, but also in F2, of course.
Indeed so. But whatever the case, that has been it. I hope you have enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JW97. He's been Rob. And we will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. BST for the 66-lap Portuguese Grand Prix. And of course at 7 p.m. BST for the F2 sessions. See you then.
Bye.